Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I will tell you the management of recurrent pregnancy losses, starting with general and preconception management. Refer the couple to dedicated recurrent pregnancy loss clinic where available. Address smoking cessation, healthy life, and regular moderate activity. BMI target around 19 to 25. Caffeine below 200 mg daily. Avoidance of alcohol during pregnancy and avoidance of excessive use while trying. Folic acid usually 400 microgram daily before conception and through the first trimester. Use a higher dose only when otherwise indicated. Optimization of chronic disease, review potentially teratogenic drugs, psychological support, a written plan for next positive pregnancy. Supportive care and access to early ultrasound are legitimate. Management not doing nothing. RCOG recommends supportive care in a dedicated setting for unexplained recurrent miscarriage. Confirm antiphospholipid syndrome. Offer low dose aspirin, commonly 75 to 150 mg daily. Prophylactic heparin, usually low molecular weight heparin, according to weight, renal function, and local protocol. Early specialist obstetric and rheumatology involvement. RCOG recommends aspirin and heparin from a positive pregnancy test and continuation until at least 34 weeks, with timing around delivery individualized to bleeding, anesthetist, and thrombosis risk. ASRM 2026 also supports low dose aspirin with prophylactic heparin in confirmed APS. Explain risk, bruising, bleeding. Heparin induced thrombocytopenia, uncommon with low molecular weight heparin. Osteopenia with prolonged heparin, less common with low molecular weight heparin. Need for delivery and neuraxial anesthesia planning. Do not give aspirin or low molecular weight heparin simply because the patient has unexplained recurrent miscarriage. Empiric antithrombotic treatment has not improved live birth rate in APS negative unexplained recurrent pregnancy loss. Inherited thrombophilia. Do not prescribe low molecular weight heparin merely to prevent miscarriage in an asymptomatic woman with inherited thrombophilia. Anticoagulation may still be indicated for previous VTE, high risk thrombophilia, strong family history, additional antenatal or postnatal VTE risk. That decision is for maternal thrombosis prevention, not an evidence based miscarriage treatment. Genetic abnormality, provide genetic counseling covering the specific rearrangement, risk of another miscarriage, risk of an affected live born child, natural conception, prenatal diagnosis with CVS or amniocentesis, IVF with PGT for structural rearrangement, use of donor gamete, adoption or remaining child free. Where the couple wishes to discuss these. Natural conception remains a reasonable option for many balanced translocation carriers. PGTA. Do not present IVF with PGTA as proven cure for unexplained recurrent miscarriage. ASRM 2026 states that PGTA has not clearly improved live birth rates or reduced miscarriage compared with expectant management in general recurrent pregnancy loss population. It may be discussed selectively, especially in older women with demonstrated aneuploidy loss using shared decision making. Uterine abnormality. Septate uterus refer to reproductive surgeon or specialist MDT. Hysteroscopic septum resection may be considered, but evidence is inconsistent and patient must be counseled about uncertain improvement in live birth, uterine perforation, adhesions, fluid overload, rare uterine rupture in later pregnancy. Do not automatically promise that septum resection will prevent miscarriage. Fibroid. Consider hysteroscopic resection principally when it is submucosal, clearly distorting the cavity, symptomatic, considered clinically significant after specialist review. Routine myomectomy for non-cavity distorting intramural or subserosal fibroid is not justified solely for recurrent pregnancy loss. Endometrial polyp, consider removal when it is large, symptomatic, or clearly distorting the implantation cavity, while explaining that evidence for miscarriage prevention is limited. Intrauterine adhesions. Hysteroscopic adhesiolysis may be offered for significant adhesions with strategies to reduce recurrence. RCOG confirms that septum correction may be considered while evidence for routine surgery for fibroids or other cavity abnormalities remain uncertain. Thyroid disease, overt hypothyroidism, treat with levothyroxine and optimize before conception. Subclinical hypothyroidism, a practical examination answer should be TSH above approximately 4 ml in unit per liter or above the pregnancy laboratory specific upper limit. Consider or offer levothyroxine after endocrine review. Mild TSH elevation between 2.5 and 4 m international unit per liter. Routine treatment purely to prevent miscarriage is not supported. Euthyroid TPO antibody positive women do not routinely give levothyroxine solely because of miscarriage history. ASRM 2026 recommends treating recurrent pregnancy loss patients with TSH above 4 milli-international unit or the laboratory upper limit and does not recommend levothyroxine for euthyroid thyroid autoimmunity. Diabetes. Optimize glycemic control before conception. Review medication. Screen for diabetic complications. Arrange specialist pre-pregnancy care. Start appropriate folic acid dosing according to local diabetic pregnancy guidance. Well-controlled diabetes does not itself increases miscarriage risk in same way as poorly controlled diabetes. PCOS and insulin resistance. Management includes weight optimization, exercise and dietary intervention, treatment of anovulatory infertility when present, diabetes screening according to risk. Metformin should not be prescribed automatically to every woman with PCOS solely to prevent miscarriage. 2026 ASRM document permits selective consideration in women with PCOS, insulin resistance, and otherwise unexplained miscarriage, but explicitly acknowledges that the evidence is indirect and incomplete. Hyperprolactinemia. If true hyperprolactinemia is confirmed, repeat a fasting morning prolactin when appropriate. Exclude pregnancy, medication, and hypothyroidism. Investigate persistent significant elevation. Treat the underlying cause, including dopamine agonist therapy when indicated. Do not treat an isolated mildly elevated result without confirmation. Progesterone. What not to do. Do not offer routine progesterone to every asymptomatic woman with unexplained recurrent miscarriage. When to offer it? In a new pregnancy, when there is a vaginal bleeding, ultrasound confirms an intrauterine pregnancy. She has had at least one previous miscarriage. Offer micronized vaginal progesterone 400 mg twice daily. If fetal cardiac activity is confirmed, continue until 16 completed weeks. NICE specifies this regime and notes no demonstrated benefit when there is previously miscarriage but no bleeding in the current pregnancy. Cervical insufficiency. For a classic history of painless second trimester loss, refer early to a preterm birth or maternal fetal medicine clinic. Consider history indicated cerclage in an appropriate patient. Otherwise, arrange a serial transvaginal cervical length measurement from approximately 16 to 24 weeks. Consider ultrasound indicated cerclage when the cervix shortens to 25 mm or less in a woman with the relevant history. Discuss vaginal progesterone or cerclage according to exact obstetric history and local preterm birth guideline. A cervical stitch is commonly inserted between approximately 12 and 24 weeks and is usually removed around 36 and 37 weeks unless labor or another indication for earlier removal occurs. Unexplained recurrent miscarriage explained in many couples. No single cause is found. This does not mean that nothing can be done. And it does not mean that you caused the miscarriage. Your future chance depends mainly on your age, the number and pattern of previous losses, and whether previous embryos were chromosomally normal. Offer dedicated recurrent miscarriage clinic, early access after a positive test. Early ultrasound, repeat reassurance scan according to need and resources. Continuity with an experienced team, mental health support. Treatment only when a recognized indication appears. Do not offer routinely aspirin, low molecular weight heparin, prednisolone, IV immunoglobulin, intralipid, lymphocyte immunization, GCSF, hydroxychloroquine without a separate indication. Routine antibiotics, routine progesterone without bleeding, expensive immune panels. RCOG states that no medical treatment has been proven to reduce miscarriage in unexplained recurrent pregnancy loss, although prognosis can still be good with supportive care. Plan for next pregnancy. Provide a written plan. Contact the clinic immediately after a positive pregnancy test. Confirm location and viability by transvaginal ultrasound at an appropriate gestation. Do not start low molecular weight heparin unless APS or another thrombosis indication exists. If confirmed APS, start the agreed aspirin heparin regime. If vaginal bleeding develops, urgent clinical assessment. Confirm an intrauterine pregnancy. Start vaginal micronized progesterone where criteria are met. If previous second trimester loss, early specialist referral, cervical length surveillance and cerclage plan. Continue disease specific treatment, thyroxine, diabetes care, routine aneuploidy screening or diagnostic testing based on age and genetic history. Monitor for placental complications in APS, blood pressure, fetal growth, preeclampsia. Provide direct contact information for pain, bleeding, fever, or emotional crisis. NTD. NICE updated its NTD recommendation in June 2026. Do not offer NTD for miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, or threatened miscarriage up to and include 11 plus 6 weeks. At 12 weeks to 12 plus 6 weeks, offer at least 250 international units to an RHD negative patient undergoing medical or surgical management of miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy. At 12 weeks to 12 plus 6 weeks with threatened miscarriage and heavy or recurrent bleeding, consider NTD. Follow local or national policy because practice may differ outside the UK. In exams, how will present the history? This patient has recurrent pregnancy loss. I would first establish whether she has any current pregnancy related emergency. I would then reconstruct each pregnancy, particularly the gestational age, ultrasound finding, evidence of fetal cardiac activity, pattern of second trimester loss, previous tissue genetic and treatment. I would assess thrombotic, autoimmune, endocrine, uterine, cervical, genetic, lifestyle partner, and psychological factors. My core investigations would include antiphospholipid antibodies, thyroid assessment, evaluation of uterine anatomy, preferably with 3D transvaginal ultrasound, and genetic analysis of pregnancy tissue with selective parental karyotyping, HbA1c, prolactin, inherited thrombophilia testing, and male factor investigations would be guided by history rather than ordered indiscriminately. Treatment would be cause specific. Aspirin plus heparin for confirmed APS, optimization of thyroid disease and diabetes, genetic counseling for chromosomal rearrangements, selective correction of clinically important uterine pathology, and cervical surveillance or cerclage for suspected cervical insufficiency. Progesterone would be offered in a future confirmed intrauterine pregnancy if she develops vaginal bleeding. If the evaluation is unexplained, I would avoid unproven immune or anticoagulant treatment and provide supportive care, early scans, and psychological support through our dedicated recurrent miscarriage service. Common exam mistakes. Ordering every test available. A long test list is not sophisticated. It shows poor understanding of evidence. Routine FSH, LH, prolactin, and progesterone levels. These are not standard recurrent pregnancy loss tests without relevant symptoms. Calling hysteroscopy first line for everyone. Start with 3D TVS, giving aspirin and low molecular weight heparin for unexplained miscarriage. This is not evidence based. Giving routine progesterone from the positive test without bleeding. NICE RCOG supported use is for early pregnancy bleeding with previous miscarriage. Routine torch, HVS, and pap smear investigation infection or perform screening only when clinically indicated. Routine inherited thrombophilia testing after early losses. It is not recommended promising that septum, fibroid, or polyp surgery will solve the problem. Evidence is uncertain and treatment must be individualized. Ignoring the partner, recurrent pregnancy loss is a couple centered problem. Ignoring psychological trauma, emotional assessment and support are a part of competent management, not an optional courtesy.